right. Barbara, thank you for being here. I would offer you a seat, but I don't think that's a very good idea right now.
Probably.
They're very wet. So if you don't mind, we will do this interview under the umbrella. Barbara, many applications, AI applications, have a double edge. They can do good, but they can also cause harm. And how does Microsoft, a company for whom AI is very important, how do they manage the risks in an area where regulation is still evolving?
Yep. Good question. Well, first of all, we always say Microsoft runs on trust, and that's we mean that. So it's all we have, and as they say in Dutch, it comes by foot, but it goes away on a horse. So we have this Center of Responsible AI. So they are setting the standards, the guidelines, and everything that we develop and deploy is tested before deployment. And answering very high standards, of course, and is risk assessed with risk assessment frameworks that are all around. So this way we really try to guarantee the ethical and responsible AI. And of course, in the beginning, it's all about innovation and scaling, but then things like responsible AI and bias, sustainability, all those ethical aspects, the more and more now they are like built in, baked in the product. So it's not an afterthought anymore. It's really fundamental to the products. So, and that's also the easy part of it. If you use it, you know, for example, you're responding or answering the Responsible AI Act de facto.
Yeah, and can you disclose a bit more on how you put those ideas through these processes for risk mitigation, or is that very confidential?
But no, like I say, there's always a pre-test before deployment with human oversight. Of course, there's also some clear boundaries, which use cases we don't do, which always need to have human oversight in like HR or legal decisions.
Okay.
Those frameworks exist,
yeah.
and in the end, if you have to, this responsibility, this trust, like I said, it's very important, and it's in the end all about taking accountability. And so what we need is ethical people. First of all,
making the decisions.
Yes, and ethical people, plus with all the geopolitical turmoil, a lot of laws are changing in the world. But for us, it's very important that our mission and our ethical principle stay stable. We already exist for 50 years. We had 26 years of Republican administration and 24 years of Democratic administration as an American company, and we always remained to have our own stable mission. And I think there's always this attraction of youth and startups and scale-ups, and of course also here, and that's very important, and it's natural, I think, that we are always attracted to that. But we can always also be a stable factor with all this experience of our 50 years, I think.
If you have like a roadmap such as Microsoft, then you have to keep reinventing yourself. So there's definitely also a need there for intrapreneurship. So you've also been doing entrepreneurial projects within the organization. So that's basically a bit the same as what the startups here are doing. Now, you already told me that there are some no-goes for Microsoft when it comes to AI. What are definite no-goes that you feel like we're not going to
Yeah, like I said, these high-risk situations of legal decisions, of human resources decisions, of things like face recognition and all those kind of more military oriented use cases, but it's really depending on the context. So it's hard to generalize that. What is important for us is to have, apart from the organizational efficiency and the fact that you can personalize a lot with AI, that we also have a part that we call AI for Good. So these are programs that we install to really develop our AI focused on humanitarian aid and climate change, medical research, all those kind of things. So this is a more and more a very important part of our mission and of our business. To give you an example of humanitarian aid, when there's an earthquake, for example, or another climate related or whatever disaster, we can offer now very quickly these AI chatbots to international organizations to help and inform people with up-to-date information about shelter, about medical care, about their legal rights in any language of the world, even when there's no internet or no connectivity there on the ground. So those kind of experience shape our other products too that are more standard and generalized.
Yeah, because it's also a part of your mission at Microsoft to have social impact. But of course, you also want to measure that social impact, I suppose. So, what are metrics that you're using at Microsoft to measure the social impact that you guys have?
Well, in these programs, we have clear KPIs, of course, and it's always evolving. Now we just started what we call Microsoft Elevate. It's a new organization really focused on everything that with social impact. And there we will. It's apart from giving yeah, cash to certain organizations or initiatives, it's also about investing in, for example, AI-ready data centers all over the world. Because what we saw in the past, still what we see now is electricity, for example. It's invented a long time ago, but still, if you look at the world map, there's big parts of the world without electricity. So, and those are still the ones that are not as developed as we are. So we don't want to make this same mistake. And so it's really important for us to have these investments everywhere, also in Middle Africa, etc. So that's an important part of the program.
If there are any young startups, entrepreneurs here who want to start an AI endeavor, what would your advice be? Because of course you're like this big ship, Microsoft. They're more like a cruise boat, just starting, having the advantage of being agile, of course, maybe a little bit more. So what would you tell them?
Yeah. Well, I think first of all, there's of course, what everybody knows now, the fact that that it excels in data-heavy workloads such as summarizing, translating. But for me, more important is that AI can easily personalize services, and I think that's every time you look at what a startup is doing, the personalization of their services, that's always making their part of their success. And so apart from all the efficiency and productivity we are all talking about now, and certainly if we talk with big organizations, I think this personalization effect or capability is crucial. And that's something we see not only in companies, but also in sectors like healthcare, for example, with more personalized medication, but also in education, for example. We have a great example from a primary school here in Antwerp called the Wereldreiziger, so the world traveler. It's a school with 420 students, primary school students, speaking 70 different languages. And what we see is when they use AI to learn Dutch, they learn a certain level of Dutch in 3 weeks, where other children of other schools learn it in 6 months. So that's an awesome result, tested already with hundreds and hundreds of their children, of their students. And that's because they don't have to wait 20 times in the classroom. They can read out loud with their own AI coach that coaches them in pronunciation, in rhythm. And so they get this personalized feedback and can learn much faster. So these examples are everywhere in every sector. And I think this personalization aspect of AI is overlooked nowadays a little bit, because we always talk about a great efficiency, which is of course also true, and which we also use a lot in Microsoft ourselves, for example, in all support services.
Indeed. Now, you also like to work together with startups, learn from them, collaborate. If there are any startups who are interested in reaching out to you guys, or in general, if people want to reach out to you or Microsoft, what's the best way to get a hold of you, except for at a networking later on, of course.
Well, we have 350 people from Microsoft working in Belgium, so I'm sure somebody will be ready to answer your questions. Of course, there are specific programs for startups and investment funds inside Microsoft, but that's a specific topic, and that's outside. That's run not in Belgium. That's more. From Corp, like we say it.
Okay.
But yeah, we have a great footprint in Belgium already for almost as long as Microsoft exists. So Microsoft exists 50 years, and I think we're in Belgium like 43 years or something. So.
Okay. Barbara, I wish you a lot of success with all of your endeavors on AI at Microsoft. I want to thank you very much for being here. A big applause for Barbara van den Houte from Microsoft.
You're welcome.